guests? Welcome to today's Big Brother 18 updates and spoilers. Our house guest today is Alex Garza. What's up? First of all, I gotta thank you for your awesome letter. Amazing. I can't believe you actually want us to sign pictures for you. That's so cool. And I don't think anybody's ever asked for that before, but I was just wondering, can you let me know in the comments, is it okay if we reprint those pictures for you? Because the ones you sent are a little pixely and I want to give you the best quality we can. So let me know. But also, Alex has a couple questions that I'm going to answer rapid fire. So first of all, if you were in this season of BB, who would you align yourself with and how far do you think you would go with your alliance? I think I would definitely try to align with the girls, especially like Davon, because I think she's really loyal. And, you know, I saw the girls were trying to get something going this season, and I'd be for that. And then, how far do I think we would go? Not very far. Because you know how it goes with the Girls Alliance. But anyway, what was my favorite season of Big Brother? That's a great question. I have so many favorites, but some of my top Ultimate Grand Supremes, love season 2. I love 6, 7. I mean, there's a lot of good ones. I really like to see the power shift back and forth as many times as possible. Also, I love Big Brother Canada 2. Yeah, I like to see a lot of power shifts. I get really bored when the same people are in power the whole time. Question 3, who do I think is the best BB player of all time? Dr. Will. Yes. And question 4, would you play the game by heart or by brain or other? I would try to stick with my gut. I think that's kind of a balance between brain and heart. Brain and heart. Because, I don't know, I feel like I have pretty good gut instincts about people, and that's what I would go with. But let me know your answers to the questions in the comments below, guys. And thanks again to Alex. Alright, so, yesterday, Victor, a lot of people were sleeping for a lot of the day, I'm going to be honest. But Victor, this gave him a chance to have a little monologue in the backyard. We got to hear a little bit of what he's thinking. He also cleaned the kitchen by himself again because he's a freaking rock star. But back to his monologue, he feels like there's a really good chance that he's going home this week. I mean, people are being a little bit weird, and he knows that he's a huge threat, so he's got a feeling this could be it for him. But he also does think that there's a good possibility that someone will be returning from the jury, and he is right. Okay, so then he's like, well, maybe I'm just being paranoid, maybe I'm not going home because I've never wronged James in this game. Like, I haven't given him a reason to get rid of me, but you never know. So then he's like pleading to America to give Paul the next care package, and he's saying Paul's played a really great game. He deserves a care package next week if I'm gone. Because, you know, of course Victor wants it himself if he's still going to be there. So then he takes it a step further and he's like, no, I don't want to, poo on Nicole and Corey's gameplay because they've played a different game, as in, not really doing anything. But he doesn't say that. But he does say, you know, their game hasn't really been as exciting, he thinks, as his game or Paul's game. But if they make it to the end, then props to them. Victor is being too friggin' nice right now. Stop it. Okay, so then Paul and Victor were shooting some pool in the backyard, and Paul's getting really annoyed because Michelle and Natalie have been doing this thing this week where, if one or both of them are sleeping in the HOH room, they've been locking the door, and Paul doesn't like that. He feels like they're cutting him off, and what if he wants to go up there? And it's just annoying him. But Victor's like, well, at least they're not locking the door with James in there, because that would be super sketchy, and you know, at least James is locked out too. So Paul's like, yeah, that's a good point. So then Paul is also annoyed that Nicole and Corey are so calm and collected right now. Corey's up on the block, and they don't seem to care. So Victor's like, oh, it's because they have each other, they're always cuddling and stuff. No, it's because they're freaking safe this week and they know it. Hello? This is just the first time Victor was evicted and he was all in denial about it. I mean, this time I think he's got more of a feeling that he's going, but he's just coming up with excuses for everything. Come on, man. So then Victor was saying Natalie has been telling him that he has nothing to worry about this week, and Paul was like, Yeah, I'm gonna remind you, she said the same thing to the two of us before we were nominated this week. Yes! Okay. So then Victor's like, well, all I can really do right now is just keep playing nice, like being cool with people. He doesn't want to, you know, overkill on the campaigning because, you know, if you do too much, that really pisses people off too. So then he's saying, I'm going to talk to Natalie and James one last time on Wednesday, and I'm going to tell them, you told me earlier this week that I was never the target, so what's going on here? I think they're just going to say, like, they're going to get rid of you. So, anyway, they were also wondering if James may have tipped off Nicole that she would be going up this week, which he did. But then, you know, Nicole was trying to play it off like, oh, I know that Michelle doesn't really like me, and she was making the decision this week, so, and it was like a 50-50 chance that I was going to go up. No, but they have a feeling it could have been James because they saw him talking to Nicole and Corey. Yes, trust your instincts. Okay, so then Victor and Michelle were having a little talk in the safari room, and they had an extended chat about the TV show The Office. Love. This was like the stupidest conversation ever, but I was just like, yes, let's talk about The Office. I love it. They talked about some other TV shows, their time in college, blah, 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 blah. But there was an important little nugget of info here. Victor asked Michelle, does it seem like James and Natalie still want Corey out this week? Are they being cool? Like, what's the deal? He wants some feedback from Michelle, and Michelle's just like, yeah, they want Corey out. That's a lie. Oh my god, I so need, like, a picture of Maury Povich that we can just, like, throw up on the screen when somebody lies, because you know how he's all like, we asked you if you cheated on your girlfriend with her sister. You said no. The lie detector test determined that was a lie. That's what I think of whenever I see someone blatantly lie like that. But anyway, that happened. So she's totally trying to pull that wool over Victor's eyes too. So let's get to the big drama of last night. This is so ridiculous, but it's kind of hilarious in a way. So you know how Victor's been cleaning the whole house like crazy? He's been tackling like one room at a time this week. Well, Nicole was feeling pranksy last night, so she was like pulling all these pranks on Corey. She put baby powder in his shorts and it went all over the place, and she did a really shitty job trying to clean it up. And then she was like taking away his towel and his clothes while he was in the shower, and she like knocked other people's towels on the floor. So Victor walks in the bathroom and he's just like, what's all this? What's all this doing on the floor? And he's like really annoyed to see his towel on the floor and like that she did not do a good job cleaning up the floor in the kitchen with all the baby powder. So Nicole's like, well, there's new ones, there's new towels. And Victor's like, yeah, because I washed them. So Nicole's like, Victor, I'm just having fun. Like, I don't know why you're freaking out like this. So then Victor tells her, why don't you just go make a mess in your own room? Like, I just cleaned all this and you don't even appreciate it. So then Nicole says, well, you're on the block and I'm voting you out anyway. So like, whatever. Oh, shit! That is not something you say. Like, obviously she's voting for Corey to stay, like, duh, but that's, like, so messed up to say that. I feel like she said something like that before, like, a long time ago. I don't think it was to Victor, but it was to somebody else, and I was just like, oh, shit, she's freaking savage AF. Okay, so then Victor goes and vents to Paul outside. He's telling him all about what Nicole did and how she was condescending with her comment about voting him out. So then Paul was just like, yeah, like, she's a freaking bitch. So, well, I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, you know. So then Nicole is, like, freaking out to Corey for a while, and she's just like, I can't believe that Victor was so upset, and, like, I'm just trying to have fun, and he, like, freaked out on me, and he was yelling at me, like, what the F? So then, or what the frick? So then Nicole finally pokes her head outside. She doesn't even bother to go all the way outside. She apologizes to Victor. She's like, sorry for getting mad at you. I'll, like, wash your towel and clean the floor. So he's like, no, don't worry, it's fine. You don't have to do that. So then she goes back inside, and Paul's telling Victor, you cannot let that stuff get to you. You need to just let it go. Don't give her ammunition. Like, obviously she's voting for Corey to stay this week, but she could easily go to James and be like, Victor's making me feel uncomfortable. Vote him out. So, like, don't give her extra reasons to get rid of you. And Victor's like, I know. So then Paul starts talking crap about Michelle. He is sick of her. Apparently there was a little incident with her too. He was like, yeah, she can say whatever. She thinks she can say whatever she wants and not have any repercussions for it. So apparently Paul was like searching for one of his shirts in a pile of clothing, which just so happened to belong to Michelle. And she was like, I thought I told you not to touch my effing clothes. Like, what part of don't touch my clothes do you not understand? So she, like, totally freaked out on him. And he was pissed about that. So he called her an entitled piece of shit and, like, all this other stuff. And it was just like, oh, my God. It got pretty nasty. This was, like, not to her face, by the way. So then Victor's telling Paul, you need to freaking bite your tongue right now. Don't mess this up for me. If you freak out on Michelle, it could be really bad for me. Okay, meanwhile, we've got Meech, Nicole, and Corey talking. You've got Nicole talking about Prankgate and Victor and his cleaning and how she's upset about that. And then you've got Michelle saying that Paul's the worst. And she keeps telling everybody that she's planning on calling him out if anyone other than him wins the HOH on Thursday. Real brave. So, excuse me, pizza. So for much of the rest of the night, Paul was really quiet. You could tell he's really trying to hold in his anger with Michelle. He was sitting silently in the kitchen for a while, and it was just, like, really awkward. So then Natalie, James, and Michelle were chatting in the HOH room, and, okay, this is really... Okay, so remember a while back when Natalie did the whole thing where she, like, told Zakiya that Paulie was being inappropriate and stuff, and then obviously there was the whole Paulie-Natalie blow-up, and Paulie was saying, like, I can't believe you're so upset with things that I've said and done, but it's okay for Paul to, like, touch your thighs and stuff. And remember how she was saying that, like, that didn't even happen? Well, they started talking about it again last night in the HOH room, and Michelle's like, I wonder if that was true. And Natalie's like, oh yeah, I'm totally remembering now that, like, Paul definitely was grabbing my thighs. What? I love how this comes up now. A few weeks ago when Paulie brought it up, Natalie was saying it wasn't true, and James was like, oh yeah, I've noticed it too. So they were saying, like, how Paul's really sneaky, and, like, they didn't even realize that he was doing it. Are you freaking kidding me? It just sounds ridiculous just at this point. I don't know. Whatever. So, late last night, Paul could not sleep, so he was talking to the live feeders, and he was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure Victor's going home this week, and I am definitely the next target. So he's telling America, hook me up with the care package, help me out here. And he's saying if Victor leaves, his game plan, he's going to try to get the couples to go after each other. And it sounds like he would like to take a shot at James and Natalie, which we've heard him talk about with Victor. So he's like, those two screwed me over, and they're going to pay. So then Paul was ranting about Michelle, saying, like, it's annoying how she claims to be this huge super fan, and, like, whenever anybody else tries to say something about previous seasons or whatever, Michelle's just like, no, blah, 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 blah. She has to set him straight. So then he's saying, you know, like, she's really annoying on a personal level, but he thinks that he should keep her around because he feels like he can beat her in the end. Alright, so then early this morning, Paul and Corey were having a chat, and Paul's explaining what happened with Michelle and the clothes and how he wants to tell her to go F herself, but he can't do that right now. So then they were both saying they're feeling really claustrophobic at this point and, like, really anxious. Yeah, I don't know. How are you going to feel when they freaking lock you down for the next few days? That sucks. So then Paul was asking Corey, have you been campaigning this week? Like, what's up? And Corey's like, nah, whatever happens, happens. Whatever James wants to do, it's all good. Again, this should be a huge red flag, and I think that Paul has pretty much accepted that Victor's going this week, but I honestly think that Victor is still in denial. So, but he's got to know, like, it's happening, right? So today, Natalie and Michelle wrote their HOH blogs, and they spent a lot of time complaining about how much weight they've gained. I mean, it's taking up, like, a lot of time that they could be just, like, exercising, but whatever. They also got the HOH camera, cool. And then, like, I don't know, they've just been hanging out for most of the day, but a couple of points of interest here. Nicole was freaking out to Corey. She's worried that she's not going to be able to get a job after the show because she called Paul a manipulator. Let me say this in a voice that Nicole will understand. Are you freaking serious? Stop. Like, really? Just stop. Okay. And Corey's like, get over yourself. Like, stop being ridiculous. So then, the house kids were on a cleaning kick today, and I gotta say props. Like, yes, thank you. Finally, good for you. Like, if you're gonna spend all day not gaming, fine. Like, at least be productive and clean. Thank you. So Victor, of course, he cleans like every day now. He was like sweeping up, and then Nicole and Corey step it up and tackle the Tokyo room. Thank God. Okay, so then, other than that, Nicole and James had a quick game chat. They agree still Victor is gone this week. Paul is their next target. They're talking about how he's a liar. He even lied about whether he knew how to make fries or not. Okay, I'm not even going to touch that. So then James is telling Nicole, honestly, I would feel comfortable throwing the next HOH competition to you or Corey. I know you're going to go after Paul. And Nicole is like, yeah, like, we're never coming after you. And, like, I'm never going to put you up on the block. So, yeah. So they're feeling really good right now. And other than that, they're just, like, hanging out today. It's been a really boring day. I know that Victor doesn't want to overdo it on the campaigning, but we still got a few days left until this week's eviction, and somebody's going to be coming back. So at least we got that to look forward to. But let me know in the comments what you guys think the competition will be like for the returning juror. Do you think it's going to be incorporated into the HOH, or is it going to be a crapshoot, or what? Let me know, and until tomorrow, much love.